Aries, today, attraction only matters if it leaves your scale intact, not if it forces you to chase. This is an emotional moment that looks small, but it actually measures how you protect yourself while you want. Stay on the first layer. An emotional silence that weighs more than expected takes shape when you stop scattering your attention. Mars makes the home roots emotional base area more impatient. If you do not shape the energy decides for you. The emotional tension becomes useful only when an emotional silence that weighs more than expected stops asking for reaction and starts asking for truth. For Aries, the day rewards you if you stay quick but not automatic. The stake is simple. Do not let yourself be chosen just because you are afraid of being unseen. The risk is mistaking the thrill for truth and realizing too late you were only asking for reassurance. Move. Make one choice that protects both the heart and the boundary. Keep it close if your heart wants to run faster than clarity today. Taurus. Before you skip the practical detail, look at what you are trying not to feel. Venus activates daily work, method, and health. The choice cannot stay automatic. Keep the scene tight, a shift, a sequence, a detail that holds everything together. It is a small thing, a turn, a list, a step you skip because it seems too technical. Skipping it feels harmless, then that is exactly where clarity slips. The routine collects its bill when you treat precision like bureaucracy. The detail is only small until you miss it. For Taurus, routine is not something to endure in silence, just because changing pace is annoying. Are you skipping one practical detail, or sabotaging the sequence that keeps you clear? The strong move is to respect the detail nobody sees. Fix one passage, one turn, one sequence. Do not open anything else. Move, restore the small step that holds the rest together. Tomorrow, you will need the hour you did not sacrifice to pride today. Gemini. The useful kind of care today is not soft because it is weak. It is precise because it has to survive pressure. Picture the final scene of the day. Do you want a fatigue that asks for respect still wide open, or a response that leaves you more whole? The sun makes the words exchanges nearby environment field explicit. What was implicit now asks for a position. This is an inner room that is too full. The right gesture is not pushing harder, but removing friction. The calm that helps does not numb you. It puts a fatigue that asks for respect into a form you can actually carry. For Gemini, understanding everything is not enough if the tired part still has no choice. The stake is not spending good energy to keep supporting a form that no longer serves. If you keep denying space to the tired part, the day may work on the outside and empty you on the inside. Move, choose the first useful no and let it protect the rest of the day. Send it to the person who needs to stop proving themselves today. Cancer. Today you do not need to win the day. You need to get back a piece of your breath. There is only one good enough opening here. Use an inner steadiness to rebuild before it turns into a story about what you could have done. With Venus in the foreground, the home roots emotional base area is not neutral. What pleases you must also respect you. This is the point where recovery stops looking like a luxury and becomes the base that keeps the rest from slipping. Recovery is not a decorative pause. It is the condition for not handing the day over to the most exhausted part of you. For Cancer, the right care today includes the boundary that keeps you whole. If you keep treating recovery as optional, the day can end with more presence lost than real results. If you keep sacrificing an inner steadiness to rebuild, clarity pays before the result does. Move. Do less in the exact place that matters most, so the important choice stays yours. Save it before you call exhaustion strength. Leo. Power today comes down to one simple thing: saying what you are worth. The issue is not huge, but it is exact. A value still without a measure decides how clear you stay in the scene. Lunar eclipse. If the resources money value axis stays unnamed, the day will make it speak in a more uncomfortable way. This is a small promise that can become an emotional contract if you leave it without edges. Value becomes real when a value still without a measure stops being atmosphere and becomes a declared measure. If you leave the cost vague, you may have to defend a bigger boundary tomorrow. For Leo, today's strength is in not using force to cover discomfort. If that margin stays implicit, the cost does not disappear. It only moves from the number to your availability. Move. Name the cost, time, or limit the moment you feel the awkwardness rise. Listen again when the conversation turns polite, just as the cost rises. Virgo. Today's love signal is not sweet. It is precise and maybe uncomfortable. Here's what really counts. A familiar gesture that stirs too much tests the version of you are trying to hold together. Moon square North Node mean. In the home roots emotional base area, one nuance can become a decision. This is the scene where someone looks at you, texts you, or provokes you, and you realize whether you want truth or fast relief. For Virgo, real precision does not avoid the choice, it makes it sharper. Desire becomes legible today in the way a familiar gesture that stirs too much either respects your boundary or consumes it. The stake is simple. Do not let yourself be chosen just because you are afraid of being unseen. The risk is getting quick contact and then ending up with less truth, less measure, and more hunger for reassurance. Move, notice what lights you up. Then choose the gesture that does not pull you out of yourself. Save it before you call chemistry what is actually taking space from you. Libra. Today, real care has a boundary, not an excuse. The echo of the day says one thing: a body that no longer wants to negotiate does not disappear just because you make it look prettier. Venus brings light to the identity-body presence axis. An emotional or value choice can no longer stay vague. This is the moment when the body or the heart stops whispering and starts asking for a gentle but concrete decision. When you remove pressure in the right place, a body that no longer wants to negotiate gives back more clarity than another show of endurance ever would. If you keep treating recovery as optional, the day can end with more presence lost than real results. For Libra, balance today is not born from avoiding friction, but from giving the pressure a proper shape. The loss is not stopping for a moment. It is letting depletion arrive later as a judgment error. Move. Close one small loop, and keep out the request that drains you. Save it before you call discipline what is already draining your center. Scorpio. There is a narrow opening for Scorpio. If you wait too long, it turns into noise. The proof arrives quietly. A useful move to formalize is recognizable by how it shifts you, even without drama. The sun's light on the work method health area does not make discounts. It shows where you are leading and where you are being led. It is a half-open door, a possible answer, an invitation not to postpone again. Today's useful step does not ask for faith. It asks you to take a useful move to formalize seriously before the mind shrinks it. For Scorpio, depth becomes useful when it stops speaking from behind control. The stake is not arriving tomorrow with the feeling that you saw the right point and showed up too late. If this opening stays only intuition, the day keeps the opening but loses your presence. Move. Answer the opening with one small act, not one big theory. Send it to the person who always waits for the perfect signal and misses the useful one. Sagittarius. The stalled part of the day wants one thing: a clean cut. First frame. Something in a door that will not open on its own is already looking at you before you decide what to do with it. With the sun active, the identity-body presence axis is no longer lateral. It becomes the point from which everything else is read. The useful gesture does not have to be huge. It has to stop a door that will not open on its own from running the scene. This is a short, unromantic scene. One answer, one choice, one cut, and the blockage loses its aura. For Sagittarius, freedom today comes from giving the right point a boundary. The danger is staying loyal to a tidy version of the problem while life asks for action. If you do not touch the fixed point, the day passes and the problem keeps its throne. Move. Stop negotiating with the block all day. At most, give it enough time to be named. Come back when fear asks for another theory. Capricorn. If a truth left on the threshold irritates you, maybe it is exposing a comfortable lie. The proof is small. What changes when a truth left on the threshold stops being just talk? Venus moves through the home root's emotional base area and ties desire to limit. If one is missing, the other costs more. This is the scene where the problem is no longer the outside world, but the comfortable version you keep telling yourself. The useful truth does not humiliate you. It cuts the long route and leaves the real reason visible. For Capricorn, the risk is managing the weight skillfully and still letting it keep the throne. If the alibi stays in place, the day may hold together on the outside. You are the one who stays split inside. If you keep covering that point, the day can look calm while it decides for you. Move. Write the naked version of the problem. Then remove the rhetoric that made it tolerable. Mark the point that bothers you. It is often the one that frees you. Aquarius. If you keep treating a delayed answer like a minor detail, today you may hand it the whole stage. The line has to protect the center. A delayed answer cannot stay open at your expense. The sun brings the words exchanges nearby environment field to the center of the room. Understanding it is not enough. You have to direct it. This is the moment when you realize the problem no longer needs better analysis, but a gesture that shrieks it. The day turns when the gesture enters the scene and forces the fixed point to become something measurable. If you move the right piece, you do not solve everything. You do take the delayed answer off its pedestal. For Aquarius, mental distance only helps if it does not become an elegant way to stay out of the scene. If that gesture waits any longer, tomorrow it will take more strength to do the same thing. Move. Choose the gesture that reduces the noise, and do it without opening 3 explanations. Pisces. Today the risk is not losing time. It is buying time the wrong way. Neptune clouds value. That is exactly why a figure needs to be made concrete. It is the number said halfway, the estimate left vague, the bill that looks small until it becomes yours. Saying fine feels elegant. The problem is that then you pay the price. The bill does not arrive shouting. It arrives when you pay to avoid a conversation. Pisces, sensitivity today is power only if it does not become an excuse to leave a figure vague. If the other side avoids the number already exists. It is just sitting on the wrong side. Are you asking for clarity, or are you paying not to seem difficult? Reread the figure, the promise, and the real cost. Confirm only what stays clean. Then confirm. But first you have to see the number, the promise, and the cost without fog. Move. Pin down the number before you agree to anything. Listen again before you turn a figure into a reaction.